Hey everybody, this is going to be a video detailing a Nintendo Switch purchase that I made and a PS5 trade that I made. Don't really have much more to say than that. We're going to try to profit off our PS5 trade and our Nintendo Switch buy. So let's jump directly into the footage and take a look at what I got. All right, before we jump into the footage, I did want to say if you're a vintage toy fan or if you're a reseller trying to get into toys, you definitely want to check this video out. There are toys to be on the lookout for that I wasn't aware of until this trade took place, and you definitely want to see what they are. Also, these toys are awesome. I don't really collect anything that I buy, but these toys have me thinking that I want to keep one of them just because they are awesome. I don't think I will, but these are really cool. So let's get into it. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. Already does, a factory reset on it.
Okay, awesome. So you got the box and everything, and there's $675.
And then there's, the games.
They're all in the case and everything.
So, oh yeah, all in the case.
Okay.
You can tell, they barely look like they've been touched.
I just mean, they've all got cartridges in them.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, all cartridges. I checked them. Chargers in there.
Did you get a chance to sell the OLED?
I've got a buyer lined up. I had another guy that was going to be buying it tonight, actually.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, literally, as I told him I'm going to come here, he's like, oh, I got to back out. And it's like, okay.
Facebook can be, I don't know.
Iffy.
It definitely can. People, don't show up, or they're last minute, they're like, I'm not buying it, actually. It's, weird.
And I've seen your stuff before. I'm guessing you resell a lot.
Yeah, I do.
So,
I do. So. You've seen my post out there and stuff?
I've seen your posts and stuff before. I'm like, oh, he's legit. So.
Yeah, but I've almost kind of quit selling on Facebook just because there's so much
now. And I'll let you know, but obviously, yeah, if you're just trying to make money, I know 275 is a little high.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not priced like that. That's somebody will probably buy it for that.
Yeah, that's what the buyer's wanting to pay.
Yeah,
she's like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
It's perfectly fine. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, exactly. In good condition and stuff, somebody will definitely buy that. But for me reselling it, that wouldn't make sense. But
right, yeah.
But you should certainly get that, I think, for it. Did you have many people interested in the Switch games?
The games, yeah, but most people were all
what they offer 400
a piece, yeah, right around 450 and something.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I appreciate you taking $50 off, and
yeah, that's no problem.
See what I can do. So
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks,
no
man.
problem at all.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with the Switch too.
Yeah.
All right, so first up, we're going to go over the Switch buy that you saw me make for $675. The way this deal worked out is I saw somebody had listed 31 games for $600 on Facebook. I asked him if they had anything else that they were selling, and he said that he had a Switch Lite that he wanted to sell. He just hadn't listed it yet. So I asked him if he'd take $550 for the games, and he said sure, even though his listing did say that he didn't want to come down from $600 at all. But I think he was getting a lot of low balls on Facebook, somewhere in the $400 range for 31 games. So I did $550, which once you see the games, I think you're going to see that that was a pretty good deal. And then he said that he would do the Switch for $150 if it had the box, and I said, how about $125? And he said deal. So we've got $675 into the stuff that we're going to review here. Let's take a look. All right, so we're going to start off with the Switch Lite first. So it is the Switch Lite Zacian and Zamazenta edition. I might be saying those names wrong because I don't know those Pokemon very well. But we've got the box, the inserts, the charger, and the console. The console is in excellent shape. It has a little bit of wear. You can see there on the corner, there's a little mark, but really nothing. And the screen is in perfect condition with no marks. So I'm going to say we should be able to get about $150 to $200 for this Switch on Facebook. That'll be the goal before Christmas. We've got a few days till Christmas, so I'm hoping we can get it sold. But that'll be the goal, $150 to $200. Okay, so that is the Switch Lite. We're going to get into the Switch games here in just a second. But if we assume we should be able to get about $150 to $200 for that on Facebook, that'll bring our buy cost down to anywhere between $475 and $525 if we sell it for $150. So we're going to assume we're going to be able to get $150 for it, just to be on the conservative side. So our buy cost for the remaining Switch games is $525. And if you divide that out by the 31 games that we got, that comes out to just under $17 a game. I think $16.94 if I remember right. So all these games that we're going to go over have an individual buy cost of $16.94, and the majority of them should be worth at least double that on Facebook and eBay. But the goal is to sell them on Facebook before Christmas so that we can avoid the eBay fees. So we're going to go through, and as I pull up each title, I'm going to put on the screen a Facebook sale counter. So what I think we're going to get on Facebook, and then we'll see what our potential profit is from this switch buy. Now, of course, not all of them are going to sell before Christmas, and some of them I probably will have to put on eBay. So once we get to the end, if we have like $1,000 in potential Facebook sales, I'll take off $100 for potential eBay fees, lower prices, offers accepted, things like that. But I'm really hoping we can sell at least 20 of them on Facebook in the next 3 days before Christmas. So let's jump into them really quick. Again, I'm going to put up a potential Facebook sale value for these, and then a running counter. So right now, our buy cost, again, just under $17 or $525 for all of them. Okay, so let's get started. You'll notice as we go through these, a lot of these are sought after games, like first party games. There's a few that will be a little bit cheaper in value and probably under our $17 buy cost per game, but the majority of these should be at least 30 bucks. So we've got Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Mario World, Mario Party Superstars, Mario Golf, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So really nice pile there. All Mario games with the exception of Luigi, but you know. Animal Crossing, Donkey Kong Country, Metroid Prime, Zelda Skyward Sword, and Zelda Link's Awakening. So again, really awesome games there in that stack. I think all of these should be Pokemon. So we've got Brilliant Diamond, Arceus, Scarlet, Violet, and Pokemon Snap. Next up, we've got Illusion Island. I've never seen this before. It looks to be some sort of Mickey, Minnie, and Donald Duck game, some kind of Disney game. Baldo, the Guardian Owls. Never seen that one. Advance Wars 1 and 2. This one's actually surprisingly valuable on eBay. I want to say like $45 to $55. There are only like, I want to say 75 sold and a couple hundred listed, so not a super fast seller. But this one looks like it should be decently valuable if it has to go to eBay. We've got Undertale. I sold this recently on eBay. Heaven Dust Collection. I think this is the most valuable game. Should go for anywhere between like $50 to $65 on eBay. But again, we're going to try to sell all these on Facebook. Red Dead Redemption. I didn't even know they made that on the Switch. Octopath Traveler 2. Bayonetta 2. Fire Emblem Engage. And Fire Emblem Three Houses. All right, last pile here, last stack. These should be the lower value games, but still decent. So we've got Aladdin and Lion King. I'm wondering if these play out just like the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo games. It says 16-bit classic, so I'm going to guess they're pretty similar, if not almost the exact same. Minecraft, that's always a popular game these days. Spyro. Overcooked All You Can Eat. I'm not really sure what this is. I'm assuming you make food or something. LOL Surprise Movie Night. So that's an interesting one, but that's pretty cheap. And then Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So I think this is a newer Mario and Rabbids game because there is the Kingdom Battle, I think, out there, which that one only goes for like 15 bucks. I think this is pretty similar. So that last stack of games there, not too valuable. All right, guys, so I'm not sure what that potential profit is going to add up to, but you'll see it on the screen here. And next up, we're going to go do a PS5 trade. I had a post on Facebook for trading a PS5 Modern Warfare 3 bundle, and the individual reached out to me and said that they had a bunch of vintage toys, Hot Wheels, Stompers, and I think one other thing. I really didn't know much about Stompers. I know there's some Hot Wheels that can hold some value, but from what I've seen, which probably isn't too much, but Hot Wheels aren't too valuable. Now, I know there can be valuable ones, and I'm sure he had valuable ones, but I was more interested in the Stompers once I was able to look some of them up. Again, not really anything I've ever dealt with. So as I've gone through them, I've been able to learn a little bit and see what's valuable, what's not. There's different companies that made them throughout the years. I think anywhere from like maybe the late 70s, early 80s, all the way to like early 2000s. So I think we've got every decade in there covered in the trade. I think we've got 80s, 90s, and one or two from the 2000s. I think there's about 12 to 15 of them. There's 3 new ones, and then the rest are used, but they're all in pretty good shape. So let's take a look and see what we got and see what our potential profit is for this trade. How's it going?
How's it going, Alex?
You mind if I take a look?
There's a battery in there and you can test any of them.
I'll trust that they're working.
I checked them on.
And here's that.
Has this been used at all?
No, it's sealed.
Awesome.
So where'd you get all these?
I've been collecting stoppers for a minute.
Really?
Have you looked anything up on those things?
I've looked a couple of them up, yeah.
Yeah, they go for good money.
Yeah, I know. I looked up a couple of the, was it the tanker semi? I saw you had on there. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, you didn't see all of them. I haven't showed you all of them.
Really?
There was probably maybe 50 to 75 more.
Okay.
But I showed you everything I got in cases that are almost perfect.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
They all have battery covers, all lights work, and all of them function.
Okay. And the Duesenberg's in here too somewhere?
And that's the one I really didn't want to come up with. He's probably right there. That's probably,
this one?
Yeah, check it real quick.
I don't think that's it.
So I gave you my better one too. The other one had a couple scratches on the roof and.
Okay, yeah, no, I appreciate that.
All
right. I mean, I trust that it's in here, so we don't need to.
Are you a YouTuber or something?
I have a YouTube channel.
What is it?
It's called Resell Everything. I just started it, so just kind of like to do trades and buy stuff and whatever.
You guys go around and they like go to yard sales and buy stuff.
Yeah, I go to garage sales like spring and fall and stuff.
Just get a hold of me, man. Maybe
Okay.
down the road we'll work something out.
Cool. All right, so here is what we traded our new PS5 for. So we spent, I think it was $547, including tax on the PS5 bundle. And if you don't know much about vintage toys or stompers, which I didn't know much about stompers until he messaged me, you're probably thinking, wow, you traded $550 PS5 for these toy cars, toy vehicles? And I've actually had a few people say a similar thing to me that I showed them my trade, and they said, you traded a PS5 for a bunch of Hot Wheels. But we're going to go through each one of these, and I'm going to put up probably the listed prices, because I have every single one of these listed except one, and see what our potential profit is. But again, we're into the PS5, I think $547, but this was an awesome trade. So the guy that I made the trade with has a huge Stomper collection and some Hot Wheels and then a few other things. I would consider buying everything from him. I just don't know enough about it. And he mentioned a pretty big number for what he would be looking to get if he sold this collection of Stompers, which it's probably reasonable. It's just the pictures that I got, they look awesome, but I'm not able to kind of determine every single thing because he had them in cases and stuff. So it might be something I explore in the future if he's open to that. But that might be in a later video if we can come to an agreement. I'm not sure if that'll even happen or even if I'll even reach out to him again. But he was awesome. He had an awesome collection that he showed me in his pictures, and really cool collector. So let's jump into these. So first up, we've got a orange Jeep Honcho. So if you're not familiar with these, the body comes off of all of these Stompers, and there's a compartment to put a AA battery in these. And then on the bottom, they have a switch that turns them on. So most of them have a fast and slow speed, except the trucks or the Honchos here only have an off and an on. So this one is pretty cool. Definitely not my favorite, but cool to see. It's got the Stomper tires there. They're kind of rubber. And then they also light up. So there's a light on the inside, and their headlights actually light up when you turn them on as well. So maybe I'll try to get one of these turned on and put in the video and show you how they work. So, but let's go through them all first. Next up is I think another Jeep Honcho. So you'll see on the back, they actually say Jeep. But I'm having trouble finding this exact one. I think this might have had additional sort of artwork or paint on it or stickers, because if you'll see on each side of the hood, kind of looks like something's been scratched off. And then the only ones that I can find on the internet that are similar also say Honcho on the side. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to this one. I'm assuming this is a Honcho, and it's just been modified a little bit. Either way, this one is pretty cool. I do like this one. I like the color. I like the 4x4 stripes. Again, this one actually does have the 2 speeds. So you'll see like this switch right here in the middle If you push it all the way to the right, it's low speed, and you push it all the way to the left, it's high speed. So, and again, all of these work except for this one. And I think that it worked when I got it just a couple nights ago. But I was just testing it again before I was going to list it on eBay. And it seems to only work if I put the battery in backwards, at least backwards to what the label says. And then it only drives backwards. So I'm really not sure what happened with this one because I'm fairly certain it was working when I got it. So I don't know. We'll see if I can not fix it, because I'm definitely not going to try to fix this, but I'll mess with it a little bit more and put a battery in and see if I can get it working. If not, I mean, it'll still sell for a good amount. I think probably upwards of like 75 bucks not working. But let's move on to the next one. Next up, we've got a white Jeep Poncho, so the same as the orange one. This one does have two, I guess, like third-party tires. They're just foam. So the majority of the Stomper tires are rubber, and these are foam, the front ones. So I'm assuming they were replaced, but everything else does work on this one. So a white Honcho. Next up, we've got the Dune Beetle. It's actually a different name. I don't remember exactly what it's called. But it is a VW Beetle. And again, it's got the 2-speed switch on it. I did notice that a lot of these, and I'm sure this happens with all Stompers, or the majority of them, the hubcaps actually get little cracks in them. I mean, these things are like 40 years old, the majority of them, 30 years old. So they do get some cracks in them. But I don't think that should bring the value down too much on these. So next up, we'll go with Roadkill. So this one's an interesting one. This, I think, is a body from 1997. So if I researched right, this is a Peachtree body. And then the bottom is Shaper, which I think is one of the 80s. So I think this is kind of a combination of two different ages and styles and companies. I did list that in my listing. And again, like, that's kind of part of my problem with trying to make a deal for a huge lot and paying thousands of dollars for a Stomper lot. Because I just don't have the background to be like, oh, you know, this seems off because this is a 1997 body and a 1984 chassis. So not that that is going to decrease the value a ton, but that's just kind of the perspective I wanted to give on why buying a huge lot of these, I just don't have the experience in. Doesn't mean it's not something I don't want to explore, but again, just something to think about and consider. So next up, we've got an orange dump truck. This is a 1980s. It actually does move. I don't know if these are original tires to this dump truck, because when I look online, it looks like some have like the truck tires that we were looking at before, the Honcho tires. So when I listed it, I just said, hey, take a look at the tires and make sure that you know what's going on when you're buying this. So next up, this one is definitely, I think this is a Tenco. I actually messaged the person I traded with and said, hey, I can't find this one online anywhere. Do you know if it's like custom or something? And he actually found one. It was some shop, I think, in Raleigh. It was a new one. I think they had it listed for like 250 bucks. I can't find any other one like this. It's pretty cool. It's gray, purple, and pink. I don't know, however, if the hubcaps are original, because the new one that I saw on that website, they were silver hubcaps, and these are purple. And they also just kind of look like they have layers, like they're almost 3D printed. So I just put in my listing, I don't know if these are original, make sure you look at it. So that's something that I just like to do when I don't have a ton of knowledge about something. Make sure I spell it out in my listings, and you know, somebody that's buying these, they know what they're looking at. They can make a determination if they want it or not, or want to make an offer or something. So next up is the Chevy Blazer. So it's red, white, and yellow. This one I think is my favorite one. It is really cool. There is one issue with this one. It does not have the plastic in the headlights. So it's just holes instead of like actual headlights. So if you look there, it looks like holes. But if you look at the rest of them, probably looks similar, but you can see there's actually plastic in there like headlights. So it is missing the headlights, but this one is probably my favorite one. And last but not least is the Duesenberg. So I think this is the most valuable loose one, or I'm pretty sure that it is. It's pretty cool. It's not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite type of car. It does have a little bit of scratching or some kind of residue on the top. Pretty cool one there. So all of the loose stompers that we've got here. Next up, let's look at some of the carded stompers. So we've got this Water Demons Coast Guard Rescue stomper. I don't really know much about these. It looks like they go on water or land. I think these tires, since they're so big, they can make these float. The bubble in here does have many different broken pieces to where the car is actually exposed here and then a little bit here. And the card is not in the best shape, but this is still an awesome find. Oh, and somebody also removed the battery out of here, which is kind of weird, but you know, this thing's 40 years old, so you never know when that happened. And look at that. It was on discount probably back in the 80s for $7.99. So that is a pretty cool one. Next up, we've got the Splashdown Stomper. I think this is a Petrie. Yep, see, so there's Petrie playthings. This one's from 97. And you'll see here, there's the 6 cars that were in this set. You'll see in the middle bottom, there's Roadkill, the red and white one with like the chalk outlines on it that we had earlier. And then the Dune Hopper, the VW Beetle from 1997 as well. So that one is carded and it is in pretty good shape. The card's in nice shape. I do like that one with the colors here. It almost looks like tie-dye. Okay, the last stomper. This is a Stomper 2. And this one I think is from 84. So I don't know when Stomper like 1s came out. I'm assuming early 80s. Or maybe, you know, it was just 2 different lines. Again, I don't know a ton about these. But we've got a Jeep Cherokee. And this card's in pretty decent shape. It does have some issues at edges and the bubble is a little bit yellowed. But it doesn't have any cracks in it. And it looks to be sealed pretty well. This is definitely the most valuable piece in the lot. I'm going to put up our list price. Again, these are listed prices. I'm probably going to be accepting offers on the majority of these things. So once we get to the end and have a total value, I'll probably take off an additional 10% just as like offer acceptance or whatever you want to call it. So awesome Jeep Cherokee there. I listed this, I want to say 2 nights ago. Within like 5 minutes, it had 3 watchers. I think it's up to like 8 or 9 right now. So I think this one will sell, probably not for what I have it listed for, but hey, if you've got something that's not out there, because I don't see that there's a sealed Jeep Cherokee out there, you know, you want to list it higher than lower, because if you list it low, somebody might buy it up within a second, and even though I'd make a good profit, you know, you might be able to make more. So I always start higher when I'm unsure about something. Last but not least is this Hot Wheels Real Riders diecast Jeep CJ7. It says it's got metal flake paint. It is in a protector. The card does have a little bit of like warping or damage on the edges, which is kind of to be expected for something that's 40 something years old. But it is unpunched. So I did list this a little bit higher than the other new ones because none of those were unpunched. Let me rephrase that. I listed this higher, but it's still the cheapest unpunched option on eBay. So pretty cool to see that unpunched. All right, so that is our PS5 trade. You know, to somebody that doesn't know anything about old toys, they would probably think I got ripped off. But in the end, this should be well over $1,000 in value. And the person trading for it did understand that. He's obviously a Stomper collector. He kind of understood, you know, if I'm making a trade of a new PS5, I'd be looking for more value than I'd be trading. And he was definitely open to that. So I appreciate that. He was an awesome guy. Hopefully we can try to make a deal on something in the future. And I'll have a video on it, but never know if that's going to happen. I'm going to put up the potential profit of both of our lots combined. So the Switch lot that we talked about first and the PS5 trade, minus our buy cost, minus any potential adjustments that I needed to make in each individual section. And we'll see what our potential profit is. Like I mentioned, there's only a few days till Christmas, and I'm really hoping to make one more PS5 trade before Christmas hits this weekend. So if I can get that, we'll have another trade video in the near future. But you never know what's gonna happen. You have to sift through, you know, when you're trying to trade this stuff, if you're just getting into it, you have to sift through 50 bad offers for one good one. at the very least, it seems like. I've had people offer me like a Rottweiler puppy, like 10 or 15 like sports cards that weren't graded, and you know, I know they're just trying to make a deal, which is the exact same thing I'm going to do, but just giving you perspective. If you're trying to trade items like this, it can wear on you getting all these messages where people are offering you like an original Xbox and no games for the PS5. But hey, they're just trying to get a deal too, and I understand. So again, I appreciate everybody that's been watching. If you're a reseller, hopefully this gives you an idea of what to look out for at garage sales as far as vintage toys. I might have walked past Stompers multiple times at garage sales. Now, I'm assuming that they're not that common, and you probably won't find them at garage sales too often. But I would have thought that if I was looking in a toy bin, that's just some cheap thing that I don't want to pick up. But now I know that I want to be on the lookout for these. So hopefully that helped you out. If you're a video game fan, hopefully it's cool to see some of these Switch games and the possibilities of buying stuff on Facebook for way less than market value, especially if you want to keep stuff and play it or use it. Either way, I appreciate everybody that's been watching. I know I haven't posted a video in a few months. I've been busy with a few other things, and I had a huge backlog of items to list, so I haven't been picking up a ton of stuff lately, just because I was trying to get stuff listed and clean stuff out for Christmas, but hoping to be picking up here in the next couple weeks. And hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.